Hey everyone, and welcome back to Audilingo English, the podcast where we help you speak English the way real people actually speak it. Not the textbook version, not the robotic version, the real, natural, confident version. I'm Emma.
And I'm Alex. And if you were new here, first of all, welcome. We are so glad you found us. And if you've been listening for a while, thank you. Seriously, you have no idea how much that means to us.
So, before we jump in today, if you are listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you found us, please hit that follow button right now because today's episode, it is one of the most important things we have ever talked about on this show.
Honestly, yes. We're going to talk about something that almost every English learner struggles with, even the ones who have been studying for years, even the ones who know grammar perfectly, even the ones who passed every exam.
And here's the thing. Most people don't even know this problem exists. They think their English is fine. They study, they practice, they memorize vocabulary, and yet something still feels off. Something still sounds unnatural.
So today, we're answering one question. Why does your English sound unnatural? And how do you fix it? Stay with us, because by the end of this episode, you will understand something about English that most teachers never teach you.
Okay, Alex, let's start with a story because I think the best way to understand this problem is to feel it first.
Yes, please, go ahead.
So imagine this. You are at a job interview, international company, your dream job. You have prepared for weeks. You practiced your answers, you studied every possible question they could ask, and the interviewer sits down, looks at you, smiles, and says, "So, tell me a little about yourself."
Okay, simple question, very common.
Right? You've answered this 100 times in your head, but the moment it comes out of your mouth, something happens. You say, "Hello, my name is Maria. I am 28 years old. I have 5 years of experience in marketing. I enjoy working in teams. I am a hard worker." And the interviewer nods. They smile. They say, "Great." But something in their expression shifts, just slightly, and you can feel it. You know something was off, but you don't know what.
Because grammatically, everything she said was correct.
100% correct. No mistakes, perfect grammar. And yet,
It didn't sound natural.
exactly. And that feeling, that uncomfortable silence after you speak, that tiny shift in someone's expression, that is one of the most painful experiences for an English learner because you did everything right and it still didn't work.
I know that feeling. I have been there, personally. And I remember thinking, what am I doing wrong? I studied so hard. Why does it still feel like I'm reading from a script?
And that is exactly the problem, Alex. That is the answer hiding inside your own question. You are reading from a script in your head.
Okay, explain that, because I think a lot of people listening right now are going, wait, what do you mean?
All right, so here is what is actually happening in your brain when you speak English. Ready?
Ready.
Okay, when most English learners speak, they go through a 4-step process. Step 1, they think of what they want to say in their native language. Step 2, they translate it into English in their head. Step 3, they check the grammar. Is it correct? Is the tense right? Did I use the right preposition? And step 4, they finally say it out loud.
And by the time you get to step 4, 3 seconds have passed, you've forgotten what you wanted to say, and it comes out stiff and robotic.
Stiff, robotic, slow, and most importantly, structured like your native language, not like English.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's not just slow, it's actually structured wrong.
Yes, and this is the part nobody talks about. Different languages have completely different rhythms, different music. English has this flow, this rise and fall, and when you translate directly from another language, that music disappears, and native speakers can feel it. They can't always explain why, but they feel it.
Wow, okay. So the grammar can be perfect, the vocabulary can be right, but the rhythm, the music is off.
Exactly. And this is why so many learners feel stuck even after years of studying. They keep adding more vocabulary, more grammar rules, but they never fix the actual problem.
So what is the fix?
Because I know everyone listening right now is thinking, okay, great, I understand the problem, but what do I do?
So, here is where it gets really interesting, and I want you to listen carefully to this part, because this is the part that actually changes things.
The solution is not learning more English, it's learning to feel English.
Yes. And what does that mean? It means you need to stop treating English like a code you decode and start treating it like music you hear and repeat.
Okay, give me something practical, because our listeners are smart and they want real tools.
Okay, real tool number one. We call it echo listening. And here's how it works. Instead of listening to English to understand the words, you listen to copy the feeling. You listen to a sentence, any sentence, and then you repeat it, not just the words, but the rhythm, the speed, the pauses, the rise in the voice, the fall. You copy everything.
Like an actor learning a role.
Exactly like an actor. You are not translating, you are mirroring. And this is what breaks the four-step process we talked about.
Because you're not going through your brain anymore, you're going through your body.
Through your mouth, through your ears, through the muscle memory of your tongue and your lips. This is how babies learn language, not by translating, by echoing.
I love this. Okay, what's tool number 2?
Tool number two is what we call chunk speaking. And this one sounds almost too simple, but it is incredibly powerful. Instead of learning individual words, you learn phrases, chunks of language, ready-made pieces that native speakers use all the time. Things like, to be honest with you, that's a good point. I was just about to say that. It kind of depends on. If that makes sense,
And you just drop them in naturally.
you drop them in, and suddenly your English sounds real because those chunks carry the music of real English inside them. You're not building a sentence from scratch every time, you're assembling it from real pieces.
Okay, I want to go back to something you said earlier because I think there's a piece of this that we haven't fully talked about yet. And it's actually something a lot of people are afraid to bring up.
Go ahead.
The emotional piece. Because I think for a lot of people, the reason their English sounds unnatural is not just the four-step process. It's also fear.
Oh, yes.
The fear of making a mistake, the fear of saying the wrong thing, the fear of someone laughing at you or not understanding you or looking at you like you're not intelligent. And that fear, it makes your body tighten up. And when your body tightens up, your voice tightens up. And when your voice tightens up, it sounds unnatural.
You know what? I think this might actually be the deepest root of the problem because we can give you all the tools in the world, echo listening, chunk speaking, all of it. But if you are tense every time you open your mouth, your English will still sound like a performance, not a conversation.
And here's the twist. The thing that makes English sound natural is not perfection, it's comfort.
Say that again.
The thing that makes English sound natural is not perfection, it's comfort. Native speakers make mistakes all the time. They say and you know what I mean. They trail off sentences. They start again. They laugh at themselves. And it sounds completely natural because they're comfortable.
And the beautiful thing about that, comfort is something you can practice, just like grammar, just like vocabulary. You can practice being comfortable in English. And the fastest way to do that?
Is to speak, even when it's scary, especially when it's scary.
Even when you make mistakes, especially when you make mistakes, because every mistake you survive makes you a little more comfortable. And every time you're more comfortable, you sound a little more natural.
I had a moment. I remember this so clearly. I was on a call with a client from the UK, and I got confused. I said the wrong word. I meant to say, I'll follow up with you, and I said, I'll follow with you up. And I stopped, and I thought, that's it. This is embarrassing. It's over.
What happened?
The client laughed, and not in a mean way. She laughed and she said, I love that. That's charming. And then she continued the conversation like nothing happened. And I realized, oh, people are so much more forgiving than I thought they were. The pressure I was putting on myself was entirely in my own head.
Entirely in your own head. And that is such an important moment because so much of the unnaturalness in our English comes from the weight we carry, the weight of needing to be perfect, the weight of representing where we come from, the weight of feeling like our intelligence is being judged by our accent.
And none of that is true.
Your accent is not your intelligence. Your mistakes are not your worth.
Your English is a language you learned, not a test you're taking.
Okay, I want to leave everyone with something they can do today, right now. Not tomorrow, not after they study more, today.
Yes, here it is. Take any conversation you enjoy in English, a podcast episode, a YouTube video, a movie scene, something that feels natural to you, and listen to it 3 times. First time, just enjoy it. Second time, notice the rhythm, the speed, the pauses, the music. Third time, pause every sentence and echo it. Copy it, not just the words, the whole feeling.
And notice how your body feels when you do that. Notice when you feel tense. Notice when you feel free. Because that feeling, that moment when it clicks, that is what we're building toward.
That is what natural English